Hi, my name's Albert Wright and I work for the Digital Youth Academy, and I want to talk to you today about apprenticeships, and this is going to be one in a series of talks to help you, if you're considering taking on an apprenticeship, how you might go about it, partly illustrated by my own story of taking on my own digital apprentice, James McMorrow. So let's start at the beginning. Well, you're feeling stressed, you've got too much to do, you're looking for some extra help. Is one of the sources of help for you in your business to get an apprenticeship? It could well be. But what do you need to think about when you're thinking of taking on an apprentice? Well, first of all, what is it that you want the apprentice to do? Now, if you're a plumber or a retailer or an accountant, it may be that you want the apprentice to do what you do in your business. You want them to become a junior accountant, you want them to become an assistant plumber, you want them to become a sales assistant. In fact, there are over 250 different apprenticeships available for different types of activity, both from the traditional apprentice in the construction trades right through today to apprenticeships in things like finance and law and marketing and even social digital media, which is where my own business, the Digital Youth Academy, has designed an apprenticeship. So you decide what sort of type of apprentice you want. Now, the most common for office-based businesses are business administration and customer service. But as I say, there are over 250 different categories of apprentice, and they match with something like 1,500 different job descriptions. So at some stage, if you're thinking of taking on an apprentice, you'll need to do a job description or the equivalent of a vacancy description as to who you want and what you want them to do. And in fact, I would advise you to do that first as the first thing you do, so that you know what it is or who it is you're looking for. Right, so let's say you have decided to take on a business admin apprentice. The next question you have to ask yourself is, well, what level of apprenticeship do I want? And apprenticeships these days are matched against other qualifications that you may be more familiar with. Things like GCSEs. So a level 2 apprentice is the equivalent of A to C GCSE. A level 3 is the equivalent of an A level. Now, going along with these levels 2 and 3, the total gamut gives you levels 1 to 7, where 7 is a postgraduate degree. So sticking with the most popular ones, the level 2 and the level 3 apprenticeship, a standard apprenticeship and what's called an advanced apprenticeship in some areas, we're also looking at certain age groups. So apprentices for young people are from the age of 16 to 24. And that breaks down into two distinct categories with different things attached to each age group. So the first age group is 16 to 18 and the second is 19 to 24. Now generally the 16 to 18s will be doing the level 2 and generally the 19 to 24s will be doing the level 3, which is what they might have done at school or at a college where they're studying academic subjects. Now what's the other significance of 16 to 18 and 19 to 24? Well, one of the common things is that whatever age they are in the first 12 months, the minimum wage for an apprentice in the first 12 months is £2.68 an hour. Now that compares with, for a 20-year-old, something like £6.31 an hour. But we'll come on to the financial implications of taking on an apprentice in one of the later videos that we're going to do. So we've covered the different levels, we've covered the ages of apprentices that you can go for. The other thing you need to be clear on is where your apprentice will study. Now, 80% of the time, the apprentice isn't the equivalent of an employee and they will work with you in your workplace. But for about 20% of their time, and you have to employ an apprentice for 30 hours a week, and again we'll come back to hours and money on a different day, but for the 30 hours a week you need to be thinking of allowing the apprentice to study either at work or at home or at college for anything up to something like 10 hours a week. So out of the 30 hours a week that you've got to take on an apprentice for and pay them for, you need to allow an average of about 10 hours a week for them to study and go off-site and have some skills training with a college. So for the rest of the 20 hours a week, they can work in your business, and at least 10 hours of that should be following the vocational stream that they're going to be studying. So if they're studying business admin, then they'll be doing business admin type things in the workplace. So not only do you need to decide what they're going to do and how long they're going to do it for, but you need to be aware that you need a training provider, usually a college, and therefore in future sessions we'll be looking at where you can find these colleges, where you can post your vacancy. So to sum up today, starting off in apprenticeships, you need to do a job vacancy description, and you need to think about what level you want and what age you want. So come back and look at some of the other videos as we produce them to learn more about apprenticeships. Thank you for listening.